It's Saturday morning. I'm meant to be at the deli in Petworth, surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands actually, of people celebrating the Petworth Christmas Cracker event. Instead, I'm at home, which I love, but I'm at home still with power and wondering why, out of all of the 12 hours in the year, Storm Darragh had to hit right now. This week is a little bit different because I thought that the majority of this vlog would be taking place or filmed at the Petworth Christmas Cracker. It's not because we've been battered by Storm Darragh. I just couldn't remember the name. We've had Bert, Darragh, and yeah, so we've had several this winter already. What I am going to do is I am going to do everything that we were meant to be doing this Saturday in Petworth next Saturday. We're going to be selling mulled wine, mulled cider, sausage rolls. We're going to have carols in Golden Square, which is just outside of my deli. We're going to be selling my famous Petworth crumble pots. So if you are in Petworth next Saturday, it would be lovely to see you. And I will film as much footage from that as I can. And that will be uploaded next Sunday. So I live just outside of Petworth and I'm actually opposite the wall that surrounds Petworth Park. That's why we get so many deer in the garden, because it's, you know, there's a herd of deer there as well. And if you can hear voices, it's Ned, he's playing with people online. But for the last, maybe I should tell you, I don't know if you can hear him or not. But for the last 3 years, I've been really fortunate enough to be invited by the team that run Petworth House, or a part of it, which is the National Trust. I've been really fortunate to be invited to their Christmas tree festival. So they decorate, I cannot tell you how many Christmas trees they have, but they decorate room after room after room with the most fabulous Christmas trees, bearing in mind that these are all volunteers. The rooms are spectacular. And one of the things that I love most about this is the fact that when you're walking around looking at these Christmas trees, you're surrounded by priceless works of art. You've got Titian, Turner, Van Dyck, I mean, just there with you. It's extraordinary. It is just wonderful. So come with me as we go to the Petworth House Christmas Tree Festival. I don't quite know what they've called it this year. All I've got in my mind is the Petworth Christmas Cracker, because of obviously that's what we were setting up for the whole week. But it's still running. Go to the National Trust website, Petworth House, and it will give you all of the dates and all of the times. I think you may have to book, but it's wonderful. If you can get there, then definitely go. Friday morning, and I just this second got the news that they've cancelled the Petworth Christmas cracker event. So I've jumped in the car and I'm going to head down to the deli now. I'm sad. I just got back from the deli. I had to talk to the girls about tomorrow and just arrange staffing and all of the food. I've got Classic FM on and the theme tune to Downton's playing. It's distracting me. Alexa, turn off. So yeah, I just had to talk to them about the staffing levels and about all of the fresh food. We sell our mini sausage rolls. So I've got quite a popular recipe on TikTok for my sausage rolls. It's by far the most successful or requested recipe that I have ever sort of put out there into the world via the content. So we sell that recipe at the deli in sausage rolls. And on the during the Petworth Christmas cracker night, we cut, because we sell them and they're about this big, the sausage rolls, and they're really chunky. We cut them in half actually, and we sell them as like half sausage rolls because lots of children are walking through and then they want one to eat, and so we sell sausage rolls and crumble pots, mulled wine and mulled cider. So we had bought all of the fresh meat in. So we had to sort all of that out. It's okay, it's going to be all right. We've got a little plan in place, but for now it's just about making sure that everybody's safe. We don't know how busy Petworth's going to be tomorrow. We're not getting the rain, but we are getting the wind, but not as strong as like Wales. Wales are getting battered. But we're surrounded, I mean here, this cottage is in the woods. So we lose power all the time. And a few years ago when we lost power it was February or March, I think we were the last 3 houses in the UK to get our power back. It was gone for like a week. And it was really weird. The house turned into a mausoleum. It was freezing. Like it took almost a week to warm up. The bones of this cottage got cold. So I sorted that out, and then I decided to treat myself. So I don't treat myself with chocolate or wine like normal people do. I go to Cowdray and I buy the recipe for a slow cooked shin of beef red wine stew. Onion, carrots. I'm living the rock and roll lifestyle, as you can see. Parsnip. The butcher recommended this wonderful beef broth here. I asked for some fresh beef stock and I think they'd run out. It's really busy there. And so instead he said that this was amazing. So I'll try it with that. I've never tried it with bone broth before. I've only ever used beef stock, you know. So I'll see how that goes. I've got some fresh thyme. Got some stuffing. I don't know why, I really fancied stuffing balls with it. So I'm using guanciale for this recipe. I usually use, you know, if I've got some bacon or lardons, but I've got some guanciale here. So it's cheek, bacon cheek, a pork cheek, and then the shin of beef. It's just amazing. An amazing butcher. Delicious beef, their own herd. And I'm using, the cut I'm using for this is for this slow cooked beef stew. In fact, I've got to get it on because it'll only have 6 hours at the minute, is shin. And if I show you this, then perhaps you might like to get it one day. Oh. So there it is, deboned. I'm going to cut it up, and that, my lovely friends, if I put it there so that it focuses, that is shin of beef. Superb. Let's get going. Let's cook our troubles away. So this guanciale that I've got here, it's such an inexpensive cut. This was $2.99, and I've got a healthy amount there. And then I got another bit here for like $1.77. It's very fatty, but it's perfect for browning before I brown the meat and then just add all of the stock into the pot. And I just think the fat and the flavour of the fat, because look, I mean, there's no fat on there. And this just makes for such a delicious slow cooked stew. All of the fat just melts and disintegrates the longer you keep it on, which is why I'm sad that I only have like 6 hours or 5 hours. Sorry, I always get told off on TikTok for putting my elbows on the chopping board. I know it's a bad habit. But it's because I'm sort of talking to you guys. So that's the guanciale. That meat here, all of that, and bearing in mind it's really good quality, that was £7. I think that's extremely reasonable, because they can get you on meat, not Cowdray at all, but certainly butchers, certainly in London, can get you on meat. And this I was really, really impressed with. So let's chop this guanciale up and start browning it and rendering it off in the really, really hot. I'm going to use my Le Creuset Dutch oven. So I'll start cutting that up now. So I've cut the guanciale up slightly larger than bite-sized pieces. They're quite chunky pieces actually, but they'll just shrink so much. So I'm going to pop these in the pot. I've heated up like a dash of olive oil just to get it going. And now I'm going to put this into the pot. So hopefully it will start to sizzle. So as you can hear, I've got the guanciale sizzling. That's all rendering down. I've cut my shin of beef into pieces, and I'm now going to pop that into the Dutch oven as well. Can you hear it? Just to brown and seal this meat. So the meat's looking great, nice and browned. Now it's time to add the chopped onion. Now I'm going in with the chopped carrot and the chopped parsnip. And I'll give that all a stir. I'm now going to add the bone broth. This is, well, it says 324 grams, so I don't know how much that is in mil. Look at this, it's got that lovely jelly. Wow, this is so good. This is so good. So we'll pop that in. I might add a dash of red wine. Actually, more than a dash. I'll probably add, you know, not a pint, maybe half a pint. And top it up with water. I don't want the meat to be, I just want it to be sitting in it and sort of up to the same level. I want the liquid and the meat up to the same level. I do not want the meat to be drowning at all. So it's on the hob, it's got the bone broth, it's topped up with some water. I've got some red wine somewhere that I'll find and I'll add that too. I've seasoned it really well with sea salt and freshly ground black pepper. I'm now going to pop this entire bunch of thyme into the middle of the pot. It will then sit there on a low heat for until about 6:30 this evening. It's now 1:30. I'll just keep an eye on it, but it won't need any more liquid. I'll be very surprised. It never usually does. Just sort of push that in like that, push it down, maybe cover it with some meat, and then it just sort of sits there really nicely. And it's actually really easy to remove the thyme because it's still all in one bunch. All of the leaves have sort of flaked off. Yes, so I find doing it that way is really easy. Once everything is done, I add the thyme last. I put the entire bunch just in the middle of the pot, surround it by the meat and the vegetables and just sort of squish it down. And then at the end of the cooking process, I just remove all of the little stems. Put the lid like that. And it's on a low heat, like a number 2 or 3. Crazy! We've not lost power, which is a small miracle, and I'm positive, well, we've not lost power. So we've got lots of trees. It's crazy. Absolutely freezing as well. It's the sound of the wind. I'm going in. This isn't for me. It's Saturday morning. I'm meant to be at the deli in Petworth, surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands actually, of people celebrating the Petworth Christmas cracker event. Instead, I'm at home, which I love, but I'm at home still with power, and wondering why, out of all of the 12 hours in the year, Storm Darragh had to hit right now. So I showed you a brief glimpse of the homewares that I used to sell on my web shop, in the last vlog. And I was going to take them all down to the deli, but I didn't, when I heard about the storm, and they're still here. So I thought I'd show you some of them. I've had some direct messages, and a couple of you left some comments just saying, oh, this stuff looked really nice, or when are you going to start the shop up again? There's only a few of you, it wasn't hundreds. But I thought I'd show you what I used to sell. Mainly because I really loved that part of my business. I loved it. I think the thing I loved the most was the choosing, the choosing of the stock, the buying of the stock. I should have been a buyer. So I'll show you some of the items. Starting off with these. These are these fabulous old-fashioned style candle holders. Now I've actually got, this is one. This is an original. This is covered in, filled with wax. This is an enamel candle holder. So they're quite similar to that. But this is an original. And I bought this when I still lived in London, actually. I bought that when I was visiting for the weekend down in West Dorset. And it was at this tiny little car boot sale. And I think it was £1. I have got 2 of them, or I had 2 of them. And so I've loved these for years and years and years. So when I saw these at the suppliers, I just knew I had to have them. And they're very Christmassy, they're red and white. So that's them. And of course you need a candle snuffer. Whenever I blow candles out, if they're tall, then invariably the wax goes straight onto the wall. Or I can't get to them, so these snuffers are perfect. What I like to do, and I don't know whether this is right or wrong or whatever, but I sort of buy in collections or scenes or jobs. So let me explain that. If I have candle holders, then I'll get candles. I don't have any of the tall ones, but I have lots and lots of these little stubbies. And I'll also buy like a candle snuffer and maybe some matchboxes. So basically it's an entire scene or an entire activity or job in one collection. I don't just want to buy the candle holder and then have the customer have to go out and get the candles, or think to themselves, oh, I'd love a snuffer with that. I want to have that entire experience. That's the word I'm looking for, experience, within the collection. So if you're coming in for a gift for someone, then maybe, say I was buying for Granny, then I would buy this, and then I'd get the snuffer, and that could be from the twins, and then I'd get the candles, and that could be from someone. So it's just that you can split the gifting. I think that's a really smart way of doing it, certainly as a gift giver. I also bought a collection of candles. These were made in Denmark, and I love them so much. I got this gorgeous blue-red mini sort of pillar candle, a dusky rose, and a sort of powder blue, with quite a lot of grey in it. And I just felt that these colours together worked so well. This was my theme for Christmas that year. This year it's quite different. But that year it was this, and it was lovely. There was lots of velvet, but it worked. Moving on to the garden now, and I bought this wonderful collection of trugs. This was a few years ago, so this is just all that's left. This wasn't the entire collection at all. But I love these, and I garden with these. I keep them in my kitchen. I have them, or have had them, hanging down at the deli for ages and ages. And they just used to fly off the shelves in the deli. People would buy them from me. It's got lots of bits in it, but I carried a collection of wicker baskets also. This is perfect for foraging garden materials with, because it's flat and you just sort of lay everything in it. And it feels rather romantic to sort of swing around the garden with a trug or a basket on your wrist. It's quite a simple activity, gardening, that offers so much mental health benefits. And if you can accessorise with a trug or a basket, then all the better. I'm not a huge handbag person. I have a couple of nice bags, but I've always been more of a sort of wicker basket girl. Anyway, enough about me. But along with the baskets and the trugs for gardening, I also bought these little scissors. They're herb scissors, but really for snipping herbs, and perfect in the cutting garden. And I love these so much. So I've got lots of these left over. But I bought lots of them because they were really popular. So I've got those there. I think that's it for outdoors. Let's move on to the kitchen and baking. I knew there was something else. Along with the baskets and the scissors, of course I had to get some twine. If you're growing sweet peas, then you would need scissors to cut the flowers off, but you would also need garden twine to tie the flowers, the stems, to the canes. And then you'd need a trug to put the flowers in. So again, that was just, I buy in collections. So with the kitchen and baking and cooking, I love enamelware. I'm a big fan of enamelware, and I find it French. I find it, French country. I find it very English country. I find it sort of vintage and nostalgic, very modern, very easy to use. and very useful. So it's all of those things combined. It's all of my loves combined. So when I buy things like this enamelware colander, I love it. I have 2 in my kitchen already. And also I bought these olive wood scoops. These are fabulous. It is, I think, a heaped tablespoon, or a flat tablespoon. So that's why I got these, because they're perfect for baking. I don't know what they are in cup measurements, so I'm not sure about that. And of course, moving on to the baking proper, I've got these heart-shaped pie dishes. I thought these were so sweet. You've got a little one there, and then they're nested, and then these 2 here. So I loved them so much, and I've got a set, and they're just really sweet. And I've got my nested baking bowls, mixing bowls. So there's 3 of them that I would use just to whisk eggs in. This one, what would I use for this? If I was chopping tomatoes for a bruschetta, and I wanted to mix them or let them sit in some olive oil and salt and garlic for a while, I'd do that. And I'd also serve them in this as well. Oops. And then this one is great, a great size as a mixing bowl. If you're in Petworth next Saturday, then come and visit us and you'll see all of this in person. And then one last piece of the collection are these. And these were actually made in Ukraine before the war. I bought all of this before the war. And they're these amazing enamelware pictures in a mint green and a baby blue. And they are such a great size for long stemmed flowers like daisies. They might be, you could get away possibly with sweet peas in here, long stemmed roses, but I always put daisies in these. I loved them. I just thought they were wonderful. Oh, yes. I've got one set of these. I love these. These are fabulous. And they're actually wooden, salt and pepper grinders. So you can see what the look of the whole collection was. I hope you enjoyed this little tour of what my web shop used to be. I don't know. But I'll see how it all goes on Saturday, next Saturday, which is the 14th of December. And I'll have a think about what I'd like to do on that front. Maybe 2025 I'll reopen something, but I'll get Christmas out of the way first. No, I'll get Storm Darragh out of the way first. That's what I'll do. So I hope if you are in the UK today that you are safe and sound. I don't know whether you'll have power or not. If you don't, I hope you get it back quickly. And if you've had events and fun things cancelled like we have here in Sussex, then I'm sorry, I feel for you. It's awful, especially at this, well, at any time of year, but especially at this time of year, because so much is sort of planned for in the run up to Christmas, as everybody really gets into it and everybody comes out and they want to have a great time. It happens, I get that. Obviously you can't rely on the weather, but you just don't expect, 100-mile-an-hour winds to come through. But anyway, have a lovely start to the week. If you don't have power, I hope you get it back soon. I hope you're all safe and sound. And thank you once again for watching. Lots of love.